Last year, a veteran checked himself into a local VA hospital desperate for help, only to walk out days later in handcuffs and accused of murder. CBS 12's Katie Bente got a chance to sit down exclusively with his wife, who says the system failed both her and the man who lost his life that day. Last month, the judge found him not guilty by reason of insanity, but his wife says that the verdict isn't just a legal outcome, it's evidence that this tragedy could have been prevented.
We brought him in for treatment to get help, and the next thing you know, he's in U.S. Marshal custody, potentially facing the death penalty.
It's been more than a year since Christopher Schweikart, a former military pilot, confessed to killing his roommate at the West Palm Beach VA hospital. Now his wife, Autumn, is telling her side of the story.
Of course it was shocking, but I mean, immediately I was just like, how could this have happened?
Autumn, who asked us not to show her face, says she met Chris in the Army. In 2023, they moved to West Palm Beach to start a new chapter, married, buying a house, and ready to start a family.
Yeah, that's when everything kind of started to happen.
Walk me through those weeks leading up to him checking into the VA hospital.
It was like his light was dimming, you know, and he just started to kind of turn inward, and he was very anxious about everything. And
they tried to get help, but counselors were booked out for months. The VA seemed like their last hope. Chris admitted himself voluntarily out of fear that he might hurt himself or others.
He had another staff member that was with him all of the time. He had a room to himself, and from my knowledge, that would have remained the case.
Then suddenly, Autumn says she was shut out, calls unanswered, visits denied, and then
he said something bad happened last night.
That something was the killing of his roommate, a patient in the same unit. They had two different rooms but shared a bathroom, and the doors were unlocked. The VA conducted an internal review and said staff followed protocol. Autumn says that's a failure.
In my opinion, there are so many things that could be fairly easily implemented to prevent these types of things from happening.
Chris was diagnosed with major depressive disorder with psychotic features. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity, but Autumn says no one won. Her husband is now in a federal mental health facility across the country.
Knowing what you know now, do you regret bringing him into the VA?
Of course, in hindsight, absolutely. I never would have taken him there because, again, I mean, somebody's life is over, and Chris's life is essentially, you know, I mean, forever changed.
Autumn is speaking out to make sure this never happens again. She's calling on the VA to fix the system to protect patients in mental crisis before it's too late. The VA tells us psychiatric patients are monitored 24/7 with room assignments based on individual risk assessments. Now, while the incident prompted an internal review, which they say showed they complied with existing policies, they did provide additional training to staff on patient observation, de-escalation, and managing a disruptive behavior afterward. Reporting in the newsroom, I'm Katie Bente, CBS 12 News.